Air, Episode 2 with Sibonelo Makhanya. I'm your host, Thornton Fincham, and now to the show. Welcome to IXU On Air, Sibz. This is so cool to have you on. Sibonelo Makhanya from the Titans. Welcome to IXU On Air.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. My co-host Heinrich here is also. We're very excited to have you on. You're one of the very first guests, and I hope you're excited. We are very excited to have you on here. I hope you're excited.
No, I am indeed. I feel honored to find out that I'm one of the first guests. Nice. So I've got one up on Donovan already.
Oh yes, that's fantastic. You can have that on him for the rest of your life. Sure. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it's so cool to have you. How does it feel like the first, let's say the first hour of being an IXU ambassador? How does it feel? How do you, what the reception? How was it for you?
One, I was very excited coming here. I saw HE and he welcomed me quite nicely, introduced me to the team. I feel at home. I feel straight at home. I feel like I've known you guys for a long time. There is a warm feeling around the company, and I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm excited for what lies ahead.
That's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to have you on board, Sibz, and I think it's the start of a lot of good things to come, and we're really excited to take your cricket to the next level. So yeah, it's awesome to be here.
No, definitely. He mentioned when he got the bat in his hand, he was like, how did you know it's the right weight? So we were like, okay, nice. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign already. So just to give some background, where are you from originally? Where did you grow up? And how did you get into cricket?
I'm from Durban, in a small town called Verulam. I'm a Durban boy. I got into cricket because my primary school team was missing a player for Baker's mini cricket, it was called at the time. Nice. And I was always the kid running around in assembly. That's where the older guys used to play cricket, and I was always fetching balls, throwing balls. So they said, no, you know what, join us, let's go play.
Okay.
And when I went down to play cricket, I was 10 years old at the time. I didn't know much about cricket, I just had a lot of energy. I was scouted by someone from Verulam Cricket Club. His name is Kugenso Brian. And he's just reeled me in since then, and he kept me under his wing, and I was at every training session. I was the first one there. I was fetching balls for all the older guys. That's how I started, just fetching balls, throwing them, and just watching, and then that's how I fell in love with the game.
Nice.
That's awesome. And is that where the passion developed as well?
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Did it develop over time?
No. From the word go, I was in love with the game. If you could call my mom now, she'd tell you I was always the first guy there, last guy to leave. Whether it was raining or not, we used to fight all the time. You can't go to training, it's raining. I'd be like, Mom, just take me there. Everyone's going to be there. And she'd come back to pick me up, and everyone's there, and we're training, doing our thing.
Yeah.
Instant love for the game, and since then, I've never looked back.
Nice. Great. That's so cool to hear.
Well.
So if you would like to just tell us about your best debut. So your cricket career, I mean, it has there's a few highlights, and there's a few teams that you've started for, but we want to know your best debut out of all of the debuts that you have. How was it, and what team was it for, and how did it feel? What's that feeling, getting onto the field for the first time, representing a team? You don't have to say the Titans. I mean, if you don't, you're not going to get into trouble.
Yeah.
But you can think back on which was the best one.
I mean, I've been lucky to have quite a few, and I've played for some really amazing teams. But what comes to mind was my first ever franchise one-day game. I played at Kingsmead, Dolphins against the Lions.
Nice.
And the Lions was packed at that time. They had Neil McKenzie, Temba Bavuma, John Symes, Alvira Peterson. And in our team, we had Morne van Wyk, Vaughan van Jaarsveld, and I was this 18-year-old kid. And Morne was handing me my cap. But I was so starstruck by everything that was going on. I don't know what kind of nervous reaction this is, but I couldn't hear.
Oh, wow.
So he's talking to me, and I can't hear what he's saying, and I'm just trying to take it all in. I look to the left, it's Vaughan, and it's Robbie Freiling, and Neil McKenzie's getting ready to go bat. So it was like such a surreal moment at the time. But yeah, that's just a feeling and a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
That's extremely awesome. And I think one of the big things, it's always, you cherish those moments forever. I mean, it's amazing to be surrounded by players like that, especially on the debut. But just taking away that feeling, I think it's a special moment.
Yeah, definitely. Now, when you joined the Titans in 2020, obviously we don't want to use the word, but we're just going to say 2020. Everyone will know. What was the biggest challenge that you faced when you signed there? Was it one major one, or was it a few challenges? But we just want to hear. I mean, in leadership, you're always going to be faced with challenges. So we want to know, what was the biggest challenge that you faced when you joined?
It was pretty much just adapting to the environment. You know, Durban, Cape Town, it's a pretty laid-back kind of atmosphere and environment. And coming here, like, everything is so intense. The players are intense. The level at which you operate is high at, like, all the time. So it's almost like falling out of those habits and falling into a new environment. But I think the biggest key was understanding why I moved here. There's a lot of excellence that's attached to the Titans brands. And you look at the players that represent the Titans. If you're around those players or in that environment, you're always forced to level up or better yourself on a daily basis. Which is a big plus for any player. I think being up in Pretoria playing for the Titans is ultimately where any cricketer around the country would like to be. And it's almost like appreciating that. And at the end of the day, when you understand that every time you put on that Titans jersey, every time you go to training, every time you play, you give it your best.
And how did it feel to become captain? I think that I mean, coming from Durban, you just mentioned the more laid-back approach, and now you become captain of a team that's a lot more serious about, I think, cricket in general. So how did you perceive that?
Initially, it was a daunting task. I think my first time captaining the Titans was in the One Day Cup 2 years ago, and all the Proteas were available. So you've got Heinrich Klaassen, Aiden Markram, Dean Elgar, Simon Harmer, you name them, they're in the change room and everyone is looking at me. So I have to give this direction to all of these.
What's the game plan?
I'm looking at them to say, guys, and everyone's like, Captain, what, which direction are we going? So I think in that sense it did help me because like I say, the environment does force you to kind of level up and like we spoke outside, you put your chest out and you fake it until you make it. But in saying that, I think with that amount of knowledge around you and experience, it can only keep you in good stead going forward and in your learning as a leader or as a captain, you're always going to grow in that environment.
Definitely.
And just another question, Sibz. In terms of captaincy, have you always seen yourself in a captaincy role, or is it something that became part of your cricketing career at a later stage?
It's an interesting one. Honestly speaking, I've never put myself out there as a captain. But if I look at the trend of my young career from provincial under-15 teams, I was captain.
Okay.
When I made Coke Week when I was 16, I was vice captain. I was captain of Coke Week when I was 17. I was captain of all the Cubs Week teams. I captained SA Under-19 on 2 tours.
Wow.
So it's something that maybe I've never quite paid that much attention to, but it's something that's always fallen on my lap. So yeah.
It's nearly just destined to be.
It must be a natural thing then, the leadership.
I hope so.
Or you just have a cool vibe. I think it's both, because when you came here as well, you immediately had this vibe. I love it. So saying that, you said that you have a young career. So what are your future goals in cricket? Are there these big, empty places on the wall that you want to fill, or is that just, or are you the opposite by just playing every game as it comes and taking every day as a gift, or is there this 5-year, 10-year plan in your head?
I think ultimately my biggest goal is to represent South Africa. But the older I get, I'm falling more in love with the improvement of myself and being a better version of myself on a daily, and almost accepting that when the time is right, it's going to happen. 3 years ago when I moved to the Titans, I gave myself 3 years to play for South Africa. So I said 27. I'm 27 this year. So I don't know how it's going to pan out. There's no pressure. But I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I've put it out to the universe, if you know what I mean. But I'm more in love with the everyday progress of myself.
Nice.
I think that's a good thing to be. I mean, if you're process driven and driven to just be better every single day. I think it takes you a lot of places as well. I think we'll see that as the journey continues.
Yeah.
So really excited.
And now being in IXU Blue, maybe that few extra grams on the bat gives you
just the spark I need.
Yes, definitely,
just the spark I need, for sure.
Now the interview has been kind of serious up until now. Not serious. We've chatted about some serious stuff. We want to play a game with you now, just to end off the podcast. The game is called Guess the Cricketer. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the first one, then Heinrich, and then we're going to swap as host.
Okay.
So
I'm usually bad at these.
by the time we get to the third clue and you don't get it, we'll give you the answer.
Okay.
And then unfortunately, that's not a point. Okay. If you get it by the first clue, you get a bonus point. Okay. And we've got people in the back that can counter score for us there. So you can get a maximum, if you get in by the first clue, you can get a maximum of 10 points out of these 5 questions.
Okay.
So the pressure is very high now. Okay, cool. The first one, question 1. This player was voted ICC ODI Player of the Year 3 times during his career.
I think, Thornton, can we add one thing?
Okay.
South African player.
ODI.
Oh, that's a big clue. Yeah.
South African player.
Yeah.
3 times. There's 2 guys in my mind, but I'm gonna go for AB de Villiers.
Well
Boom.
done.
Yes, well done.
The first one.
Okay, that's 2 points. Well done.
So actually, I said to Thornton maybe beforehand, it's like some of these clues can really give it away, but you might need that extra little bit.
Yeah.
So, and then the next one we're going to name is, he played for an island, and his surname can also be a name.
Okay. Is there a clue there? Or?
Yes, the clue is he has a cricket game named after him.
Brian Lara.
Well done.
I can't get that wrong.
Okay, nice. So we're on 4 points so far. Well done. Okay, so number 3, top order batsman for Royal Challengers Bangalore in the IPL.
Faf du Plessis.
Oh no. we wanted to keep that. We knew you were gonna guess Faf du Plessis, so we picked Virat Kohli. So
top order batsman.
Yes.
For RCB.
Yes. But we didn't even get to
we didn't get to the other
clues.
Because we wanted to say he's a recent former Test captain of India's national.
So you jumped beforehand.
You jumped. You should have waited for the next clue. But that first one, I call a slow ball because we kind of wanted you to hit it.
But
you
he
were like,
it didn't sound like he was going to continue with the question. He had a little pause there for RCB.
Like that. So the next question. His surname is the name of a famous duck, and his nickname is the White Lightning.
Alan Donald.
Yeah.
Like it.
Donald Duck. Okay, nice. So we're on 6 points. This is to get at least 80%. This means you get a gold star. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm gonna stop. So if you want me to go further, continue. So I'll stop after the first one. He's an all-rounder for the Dolphins.
You can stop.
Okay, who do you think?
This is a gamble because the last time I jumped the gun, I lost. I'm going for Andile Peshliwa.
Yeah!
My boy!
We knew both of you were Durban boys, so we just had to throw that question in
for
there.
sure.
And he's also part of the IXU team, so that's cool to have to put that in. Thanks for playing. 8 out of 10, 80%. Well done. Let's just give him another round of applause. And thanks for being on IXU On Air and beating Donovan at it. But yeah, thanks for joining and all the best. We are really excited to see you featuring in the IXU Blue and part of the IXU team. All the best with your career. Thanks for being here.
Thank
you very much, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to IXU On Air, episode 2. If you haven't yet done so, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you share the video, you could win some awesome merch. See you next time.